Here are some more things I found out about damage scaling presented in the same crispy microphone as last time. These are the damage scaling stats I explained in my last video, so if you haven't watched that, I would highly recommend watching that first. But here, I'm going to expand upon that. All uppercuts do 50% scaling unless you uppercut cancel, in that case it only does 20%. Projectiles do 5% damage scaling, which now makes Razzle Dazzle the only non-projectile special move that has 5% scaling. Guess what, it's still shit though. Now these next ones are going to get a bit confusing as there are some exceptions. Combo enders that do not come out in its entirety when blocked or whiffed, such as Quan Chi's teleport or Rico's tactical takedown, apply no scaling if interrupted mid-move by an ambush. However, if the ambush move hits at the very end of the move, then your standard combo scaling still applies, which is typically 15 or 20% depending on the move itself. This is because these types of moves are applying scaling only after the move is complete, not during the hit. So when you interrupt these moves, essentially you are bypassing the scaling itself. However, if they are armored moves when enhanced, then the enhanced version of them applies 50% scaling regardless of whether they are interrupted mid-move or not. Meaning if you're using these moves mid-combo, it is always best to do the meterless version of them. Take a look at these examples. Imagine spending a bar to do less damage. Sorry, Sub-Zero mains. Keep in mind this scaling only applies to moves that apply armor when enhanced, so moves that don't receive armor when enhanced still keep their 0% scaling, so Havoc mains, you are safe for now. The only exception I found to this is Xiao, which despite down back 3 being an armored move, does not apply 50% damage scaling, meaning this combo does the exact same damage as its meterless counterpart. But let's be honest, if you're doing this combo in an actual match, you're a bit silly, aren't you? Combo enders which are multi-hitting and come out when fully blocked or whiffed and have no way of being interrupted by a kameo apply 5% scaling after every hit, and this doesn't change for the armored versions. That is why you should forget about comboing after these, because the overall damage will be jack shit anyway. Command grabs are a weird one. If they are interrupted by any ambush move, NOS just slap a 25% damage scaling on them. However, this scaling is applied after the kameo hit that interrupted the move, meaning your kameo damage remains unscaled, but any more moves following that suffer the wrath of both your kameo scaling, plus the 25% scaling that gets slapped onto it. This of course applies to Rico as well. And here comes Xiao breaking the rules once again, because his command grab not only doesn't have this 25% damage scaling slapped on, but this move also ignores the 50% damage scaling applied to armored moves when enhanced. Moves that don't even hit the opponent, such as Chameleon's jump, apply 20% scaling, while both the kameo teleports apply 15%. But keep in mind, the rate at which these scaling values get applied are different. Because Motaro's teleport is quicker, it applies scaling quicker, meaning in some cases Motaro will do less overall damage than Kung Lao. For example, these combos, despite the fact that they're the same combo, Motaro is doing less damage because his teleport scaling is applied before the bone cage, while Lao's is applied after the bone cage. Goro's punch walk is a very odd one when it comes to damage scaling. It has 5% damage scaling after every hit. However, you wouldn't know that unless you whiff the first or second hits, because from my understanding, this seems to be the only move where NOS actually compensate the damage scaling after each hit by deliberately upping the unscaled damage to these obscure numbers. So that means when you land all punch walk hits, your damage will be nice and round numbers, despite the fact that there's actually damage scaling after each hit. Now watch the damage of each individual hit increase a little bit when I whiff the first hit. Here is a summary of all the damage scaling values I've found so far. If you've made it through to the end of the video, thank you very much for watching.